You can't put a square peg in a round hole. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm a square peg. Don't you understand? I'm a square peg. Like, I just need you to stop trying to shove me into a round hole. Hey squirrels, welcome to ADHD, where ADHD isn't some clinical diagnosis, it's just life. I'm AV, your always honest tour guide through this beautiful mess. Over here, we're not about fixing yourself. We're about figuring out how to actually enjoy your life as you are. So grab a snack and let's go. Welcome back, squirrels, to another episode of ADHD. I am so excited to have you here, and we're going to jump straight in because today we're talking about neurodivergent energy. And what we all know is that neurodivergent energy doesn't move in a straight line, right? Some days you wake up and you're totally on fire. Your inbox is at 0 before 9 a.m. Your creative ideas are flowing. You're knocking out tasks left and right, like you are super on fire. And other days, brushing your teeth and opening your laptop feels like an impossible task, like climbing one of those military walls, right, with no rope. And yet, most of the systems that exist in the world and in the system in which we live expect linear energy, the same output every single day, like a machine. And when your energy doesn't match the system, you're the one who gets blamed, which is not only feels unfair, it is unfair. Because the truth is, the system is broken, not you. And that's not to say that it's a system that doesn't work. It works for the majority of people. But if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. Momentum without meltdown starts with designing workflows that adapt to you and to your reality, and getting rid of trying to bend yourself into someone else's productivity mold and into somebody else's system and what works for them. And what pops into my mind, I was sitting with my mother. We were having pizza like in 2011 or 2012, when I was still living in Israel. My mother was there for a visit, and I was showing her this or that or something I was doing. And I'm not sure what we were talking about, but the conversation ended with me like yelling at her, "You can't put a square peg in a round hole." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm a square peg. Don't you understand? I'm a square peg. Like, I just need you to stop trying to shove me into a round hole." And I don't think she quite understood it then. I think she understands a lot better now. And, that I didn't really express myself very well. But looking back at that much younger version of myself, I have a lot of empathy for her and, just a lot of really warm feelings. And I wish that she could have known the things that I know now. So here I am talking all at you, hoping that it will make a difference in your life, hopefully sooner than it did in mine. And if not, then today's a great day to start. So how do we maintain consistency when we have inconsistent energy? And I'm not sure that this is neurodivergent exclusive, but it seems to be a lot more challenging for neurodivergent people. Honestly, I wouldn't really know because I've never had a neurotypical brain. But for neurodivergent brains, energy is super unpredictable. It comes in waves, right? Some days you have a full tank and other days you're running on fumes. So what we need to start with is redefining consistency. It's not about matching yesterday and doing the same thing. It's about creating structures that honor your capacity today. So how do we do that? What do we need to do? Well, we have to set minimum standards and expansion options. That's the strategy, right? On a low energy day, you send one follow-up email and that's it. And on a high energy day, you clear the entire inbox, right? And that might look different because that's a simple admin task. So that might look different for you in your business or in your life. But both of those things are wins and both keep momentum alive, because consistency isn't about how much you do. It's the fact that you keep moving and that you hit your minimums for the day without demanding the impossible from yourself. And of course, this shifts all the time. So when I was a brand new mom with a newborn, my minimum standard was baby is alive and fed, and I am wearing pants. If I'm wearing pants, that's an amazing day. And mind you, they didn't need to be clean pants and they didn't need to be pants fresh from the closet. They could have been off the floor or from yesterday. But if I was wearing pants, we were killing the day. And on a higher energy day, anything beyond that is bonus. That's freaking awesome because I already hit my minimums. Then I need to know what my expansions options are. Maybe we'll go for a walk outside. Maybe I'll clean the house. Maybe I'll do a dish. Maybe I'll feed myself. Maybe I'll shower today. So for any of you new moms, please tell me I'm not alone. But that was 10 years ago. Now, my minimum standards for my day look very different. My kids really keep themselves alive very well. So keeping the kids alive, yeah, it's one of my minimum standards, but it doesn't really require a lot from me. If you think of your energy like gears, right? Some days you're in fifth gear and you're cruising down the highway, you're on a highway. Other days you're inching forward in first. Um, and the important thing is that you don't stall the engine. That might be a bad car metaphor, but also that you know when to do what. If you're cruising in fifth gear down in a school zone, that's bad. And if you're in first gear on a highway, that's bad too. But when you build your system to flex with your energy and you have your minimum standards and your expansion options, then the guilt has nowhere to live. So low energy days stop feeling like a failure and high energy days stop burning you out. And if that sounds amazing to you, then stick around. I got some tips for you. Let's talk about time blindness for a hot second because it is one of the biggest momentum killers, not the only one, but it's a massive one. Time blindness means that your brain doesn't register time like everyone else's. Um, Additionally, we have things that cause us to not keep track of time very well. Like scrolling can turn in from 5 minutes into 45 minutes for absolutely anyone. But if you're a neurodivergent person, then time doesn't work in the same way for you as it does for everyone else. Like things that you think will only take an hour, somehow your entire afternoon, you are more susceptible to falling victim to the planning fallacy, which means we don't really calculate very well for how much time stuff is going to take us. We think it's going to take us a lot less time than it actually does. And that isn't about being responsible. It's just how general human time perception works. And then also neurodivergent time perception is even more challenging than that. But there are other classic momentum killers, right? Context switching. If you're constantly bouncing from thing to thing, like I know that you're a good multitasker, but your brain never gets to settle. And that's bad. If you have vague priorities, you're like spinning, but you're not moving forward. That's a place where we fall into like a micromanaging trap, right? Because we don't really know where we're headed. We don't really know what we're doing. Our priorities are vague. So we're just spinning our wheels, and that's a real energy killer. And then perfectionism before momentum, right? We build something in our mind and then we are so focused on polishing it off and making it perfect, but it isn't even built yet in reality. So what do we do about those things? First of all, externalize time. Don't trust your brain to track time, okay? Your brain is super cute and it's really, really good at a lot of things, but time tracking isn't necessarily one of them. So timers, alarms, visible clocks, time blocking on paper, using your assistant, any kind of app, any kind of visual clock. I have big ass visual clocks all around my house with stupid huge lettering so I can see it from anywhere in the entire house. Some sort of visual clock works really well also, like the ones that you can set a time and when the time ticks down, the color gets smaller as well. There are apps like that too, visual time trackers. Those types of things really help to externalize time so that you don't get lost. Um, Batch similar tasks. Your emails go together, your admin goes together, creative work goes together because you don't want to be constantly shifting gears. You're going to be all out of gear alignment. Out of alignment. That's definitely what it is. If you continuously shift gears, you are going to be out of alignment because your gears will misalign, right? That's a car thing. Find me in the comments if I'm wrong. And then celebrate starting stuff, okay? Don't wait for the finish line to feel like you're winning because often we tend to set tasks that are too big for ourselves. And we only celebrate at the end, but momentum starts with the first step, not with the last step. And an object in motion likes to stay in motion. That's just how momentum works. Those are the laws of the universe in which we live. So that's cool, but how do we make it fit you? There's a couple of different things that we do. Basically, to build a system safe routine, like a routine that works really well for you, we do what we call task layering and flexible planning. So task layering is stacking tasks that match your energy state. If you're in a talking mode or So if you're in a talking mode today, right, you've been on back-to-back calls and your brain is already kind of in talking mode and you ran out of calls to be on, that's the perfect window for you to update your CRM notes or send follow-up messages or jumped on LinkedIn. Your brain's already in a social gear, so use that momentum to your advantage. Whereas if you're in a deep focus mode, don't waste that like precious primetime real estate on admin. That's your moment. That's your time for strategy, for creative building, for problem solving. And then once you know that you can switch the types of tasks that you're doing based on the mode that you're in, we use flexible planning. And that's where our anchors and floaters come in. Y'all have possibly heard me talk about this a lot, but I'm not going to stop until everybody's schedule works for them. Anchors are fixed, must happen commitments. They are things that don't rely on you. They rely on the actual 24-hour clock of the world. Meetings, pickup, anything that has an external time. Floaters are the flexible tasks that you can plug in based on your energy or based on whatever is going on that day. And when you plan it this way, you don't break when life changes, you just pivot, right? So what that might look like is that I have meetings plugged into my day and pick up time for the kids. Those are my anchors. And then floaters, I offer myself an opportunity. Hey, do you want to do this task right now? And that could be plugging in the gym multiple times during the day, right? To kind of give yourself an option. Do I want to go in the morning? Do I want to go in the afternoon? Do I want to go in the evening? Or actual tasks that are broken down that can be accomplished today or tomorrow. They're not tied to a specific time. That is how we build a routine that is safe for our nervous system. And when I say safe for our nervous system, I mean safe for yourself, right? Like for you to feel comfortable, we want to build rituals that signal to your brain we're switching modes now, which works so much better than rigid schedules that tend to crumble under pressure, right? So, how do I switch? Well, for example, you can make tea before you start work. You can light a candle. I lit my candle before our podcast. You can do a quick stretch, move your body, or a body scan. You can turn on the same song. These small rituals and these tiny cues act like little gentle on ramps, and they give you a sense of safety and predictability. And that's exactly what a dysregulated brain and a dysregulated nervous system needs to focus. So when do we rest and when do we move and how do we tell the difference? That's honestly the tricky part because sometimes your brain says I'm tired and it doesn't actually mean rest. Sometimes it means I'm overstimulated. Sometimes it means I need something new. So the cues that you might need rest, you could be yawning, brain like foggy. You could be irritable, like emotionally irritable. You could be just moving slow, right? Your processing is kind of slow and cues or clues that you need movement, you could be restless or scrolling without satisfaction. There's kind of procrastination energy. You're pacing, but you're not landing anywhere. It's kind of jittery as opposed to drained. So ask yourself, do I need stillness or do I need a change? And then test it, right? A 10-minute walk can sometimes reset your brain better than a 2-hour nap can because you needed movement, not rest. And other times, the nap is the medicine that you need. So it's not about guessing perfectly, but it's about listening to what your body tells you and collecting the information that you need to do better and better for yourself over time. Y'all, this is just the beginning because next month's frame is on time and flow. And that's where we're going to build this out into real systems, where we're going to be building schedules that bend without breaking, anchors and floaters that work together, work rhythms designed for your nervous system and not against it. Because sustainability doesn't come from forcing your brain into someone else's template. It comes from designing your own template. That's what makes it sustainable for you. And squirrels, momentum isn't about speed. I know we like to be so fast all the time, but honestly, we exist in reality, and reality has a 24-hour clock. It is what it is. What's important is staying in motion in your rhythm without burning out. And consistency comes from flexibility. The more you honor your natural patterns, the more sustainable your workflow becomes. And your energy isn't a liability. I know that maybe you've been told that, but really it's a signal. And when you build systems that respect those signals, you can stop fighting yourself and start flowing with yourself. because you're the adult in your own life right now. You get to understand yourself. You don't have to wait for anyone else to understand you, and you don't need to wait for anyone else to build the system that's going to work for you. You can do it for yourself. And if you need help, as always, I am here. We are here. Take care of yourself. Listen to yourself. You have important things to say, and you're worth taking the time to listen to. See you next week, squirrels. Bye.